Yeah. All right. Over the last couple of weeks, I have been playing. Actually, over the last couple of months or something like that, I've been running with my buddies, playing some Sunday action or Sunday morning, early morning games. 7 o'clock, we're up and running. It's PST, Vancouver, British Columbia time ish. And my adventure, it's my turn. We did some rippers. We did some last parsec. Now we are doing Operation Freak Show, which is superheroes in Vietnam. And I am running an adventure called The Lost Treasure of the Sands. There will be a video. I think I'm uploading it right now. I'm not sure. Hopefully it's working out. It's got to be here somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. But that said, let's get to the table. And this is why I'm going to just do this quick little video here for a few minutes. Change my color. Then I will upload this at some point to the YouTubes too. But the gist of it is I'm going to set up some maps. I'm going to share these things, put them out on my table, show you the sort of the general gist of how this thing is set up. So these are my maps. We got the Rusty Anchor, Pirate Bay, the Adventurer, Destination Unknown. I changed this one to Beached Ship. The Oasis Ambush and Oasis Town. So far, my party has started off getting drunk, hanging out in a place that I called the Rusty Anchor. The Rusty Anchor is just a tavern inside of a little port city called Burgundy Bay. You can see here that we've got good old Eric Lamoureux from the Wild Eye podcast, Wanted, Dead or Alive, No Sleeves McGee. Got the Gaming Ho, Daryl, Wanted, Dead or Alive. Over on this wall, I put in little Matt Stark and Uncle Jay, along with Harrison Hunt and James Clark as the J-Raz gang. Customization that I put in there. Burgundy Bay is a pirate bay. And this is just a tavern inside of it. Some cards thrown down here, table and whatnot. I got my drinking girls, Chesterella and Madam Easy. I'm going to be taking those out. You can put in, and these tokens will have to go as well. You'll have to supply your own tokens. A 2-piece Priscilla and Dirk, because that is art that I paid for. So I can't, it's copyright and I can't just dole it out. And yeah, that is the first map. So I'm going to make this little tavern available. I got a board with a bunch of maps that are easily usable. Once I clean this up, I'll export this, but that's the premise. They start off in here, they're doing some drinking, they're hanging out, they're having some fun. The pirate captain runs in, he's like, "Gentlemen, it's time to go." And he splits, and before anybody can take off, the pirate crew chasing him catches or comes flying into the bar, and that sort of sets the scene for your first combat. Eventually, the captain of the other crew is going to start casting fireballs, lighting the bar on fire, and forcing everybody out into the street. So the premise of the second one, this Pirate Bay map, also be making this available. I don't remember the original name of this map, but man, is it neat. I got to take the cards off, do a few other things. Get rid of some of these. So you can see down here, we got the Old Crotch crew. Bunch of guys out here that are chasing. These are the guys that spring into the bar. Slick artwork by Paper Forge Minis. Dropped onto a custom token that I made. This is the Rusty Anchor bar. So the premise of this inside of Savage Worlds is to check out the new chase rules. And just to sort of throw a wrench into the gears, I haven't labeled these first cards, but when we get to card 3, the players have the option of going left or right, and depending on which way they go, will determine the hazards that they encounter as they run down here. These barrels or something like that, they could get knocked over or trip into as a setback on a clubs or something along those lines. I've got a couple of people down here, like this noble woman and this guy with this little wagon. There's some priests and stuff like that hanging out down here. This is all stuff that I got to take out. You have to kind of supply your own miniatures inside of the game, but I use Paperforge minis and Printable Heroes minis, and these are from an artist in a kit bundle thing that I bought. Back here, what do we got? We got a bunch of slaves being marched through the streets. So yeah, there's plenty of obstacles to throw in. There's some clubs and whatnot here, but here's the gist of it when I take a step back. They run out. Old Crotch Crew in a chase scene starts on 1. Players start on the 10, the second card, and we run this chase scene, Savage World Suede Edition, Adventurous Edition, chase scene through the streets. They go left to right, and then each one of these cards is numbered, and they have to make it to card number 10, which is this one here. So there's equally the same amount of cards to come around this way as there is to run through this way. As you're playing the adventure, F8, click on the boat, move this thing out of the way. Every round of action, you can click on the boat, move it a little farther ahead. Now, if your players don't make it to card 10 and get on the boat before it sets sail or the chase is over, that's it. They get left behind. Captain Blade, obviously, he makes it onto the ship. And yeah, he's like, sayonara, suckers. See you later. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. So it's kind of an interesting way to maybe like not so much kill your players right out of the gate, but you know what I mean? Like throw down some turmoil in their general direction. So I'll be putting this map up as well. This is available for consumption. It is a slick Port City map. It's really nice. I don't know who did it. I'll try and find out who did it and put credits in it, but this map is going to be 100% available with the houses and the boats and stuff, and once I get it all cleaned up. That leads me to the Adventurer. Now, this is the pirate boat that they're pulling off of the wharf on. Let me shut my phone up here for a second. That on block. And this boat here, the reason that it looks different is because the other boat is a continual model. So if I was to click, let's say F8 on this top deck, you can see the green corners. The other one is one entire square cube, so you can't actually place miniatures inside of it. You would have to do it a different way. So this is a boat that I've created. I think this boat might actually already be available. It's part of for King and Country. I've repurposed it and used it in this adventure. You can see Captain Blades hanging out. He's got the interesting little artifact on the front of the ship. He activates the artifact, creates a storm and a whirlpool, and the players get sucked into it and shot off to a land of unknown origin, which is why this says destination unknown. So that was about 3 hours to get through those, and then I cut her there. And then the second session started off with destination unknown, which is this map. Let's smash the build button on this one. Now, they started off in a water world, Pirates Bay. It's a 50 fathoms adventure. It's called Charybdis. But where they end up, they're not 100% sure, although what they do know is there is no water. So because there is no interaction inside of this map with players and other things, it's all sort of theater of the mind. It's just something for them to look at. It doesn't matter whether or not they can go inside it. You can just describe what happens inside this boat. You can see the boat's like full-on destroyed, covered in sand. It's just wrecked. Like there is no fixing it, and there's no point in fixing it because there's no water around to float the boat. Over here, I put the artifact in the sand, and I buried Captain Blade underneath a pile of boxes. He's dead. That's it for Captain Blade. His adventure, his story has come to an end. The only remaining crew, obviously, is going to be your NPCs. So there you go. And this adventure lets them look around. I do actually have a couple of objects that I mistakenly forgot to put in here. So I have blood, I have binoculars, and I have this data pad. And these are all items that your players are going to find sort of near the back of the boat in here on a successful notice check. So we can just toss them in there in a bit. And the data pad during this adventure calls out for help. They hear it calling from underneath the ship, and it summons them to a sort of a quest in this area. Somebody's calling for help, saying that his town is under attack from pirates. Please help. My players smashed the data pad thinking that it was some kind of weird spirit box because they're coming from circa, say, 1600s on pirate boats into a futuristic society that has CB radios, data pads, hovercrafts, and other things. So they're slowly learning this as they proceed into the world that they're in. That takes me to a next map, which is, let's get rid of that stuff off of there. I'll make sure that I fix all that up before I release these. And we are going to build Oasis. So you will notice one of the cool things about the that they've recently put in is my miniatures are upside down. And the reason that my miniatures are upside down is if I change color, let's go change color, and let's go to, say we go to teal. You'll notice that if I'm not black, which is the Game Master's deal, they won't see them, which is a really neat feature. You can just put them upside down. Let's go change color, change back to black. Here we go. Right click on First Mate Hoax, go to toggles and hide face down. Check that off, and as soon as you flip them upside down, they basically disappear. So this is great for an ambush. You describe your players walking down the road. They get to this area here, and they hear some noises. From there, successful stealth versus notice rolls basically starts them off in this general direction, and they can surprise them, work their ambush, set everything up, if they don't get noticed and they succeed on their stealth checks, which is pretty slick. Some of that happened. And then it's just a matter of you can flip your tokens over. You just hit the old L, flip them over, and then that's what they see. Oops, Sven's like a drunk. Drop them over where they need to go, and then we'll throw this one away because we don't really need it right now. I'm trying to flip this guy over. See if we go back to color, go to the teal color again. You can now see that they're there on the map. Interesting, cool thing that you can do inside a tabletop simulator. I will be making this map available. You can see in the background, it's Oasis. This is actually the map or an image from Borderlands 2 that I cut out and set here as sort of a prop. It gives the map some depth in kind of a cool diorama style. And so after they talk to these guys, defeat these guys, make a deal with these guys, however they deem to deal, these pirate guys are collecting stuff from this city. They're they're on the loots, they're stealing the stuffs and stacking it and organizing it to take it to their ship. Once they get past these guys, the very last one was the big bad boss guy, which they circumvented by playing a card. Build Oasis Town. And same kind of a deal. I went inside Borderlands 2. I took some screenshots. You can see that these are just inside of Oasis. Now, I've got a little guy up here. His name is Tucket. He's not unable to be seen. I just flip him over. I got some crates for some what do you call it, cover. Put these two guys back here, Lootwana and No Beard with his acid shooting gun. This is the, not first mate, but she's the medic kind of a deal, and then No Beard would be the big bad boss. Now, the premise behind this attack or this battle would be No Beard would stay here, shoot him with this high-tech advanced gun that splashes acid in like burst radius damage. He doesn't come out from behind the crates. Anytime he takes damage, Lootwana is basically the healer, and she would just heal him. So essentially, he's, until the players make their way through these barricades and stuff like that, he's going to be pretty much invincible. But they played a card, circumvented the entire scenario, and ended up just talking to Shade. So you're like, well, where is Shade? They made a deal with No Beard at the end. No Beard takes off. They traded the captives, First Mate Hoax, I think, and William. No, a couple of guys, Eucalyptus and William, were the only two guys to make it. But that said, these are cool little things called kickers that somebody made. And what a kicker does is you can right-click on this kicker, lock it. You can right-click on it, and you can go to custom. And you can imprint an image on it, which is what this is. So this imprinted image actually becomes the image that is going to be shown. So you can see it says, when this object is locked, it becomes a button that will store the position, scale, and tint of the token it creates. Very cool. So you can essentially put a token, an image, something along those lines into the game, and then you just press this button and you see it appear in the back. I'll show you again. So that is how, or a neat and interesting way to add an extra layer to this map or show them a thing that you don't want. Now, imagine that this was a trap, for example. If I go to objects and hit saved objects, what have we got? I'm not sure if it's under my props or something along those lines, but let's just say, for example, you had a pit trap. You could set this up so that you could place the pit trap. Click the kicker, and it just appears underneath the, if this was a dungeon floor, it would just appear. Boom, pit trap. Not previously noticeable. Clickety click, and away you go. You can scale the size of the kicker and stuff like that. But once they scare off No Beard, here's the kitty cream. I got to move this green guy in the back. This is Eric's player. Let's just drop him over there, and then you can see there's Shade. He's the guy that called them, said he was under attack. And this is where we ended it. They made a deal with Shade, or saved Shade. Shade tells them that he doesn't know what the artifact is that they have. Says that there's this old curmudgeon-y dick that lives up in the hill, old man Matt Stark, and that they should go talk to him. He's might be aware of what these ruins are on this artifact. So he's like, you guys saved me. Here's the keys to my hoverboat. He explains the technology to him a little bit, shows him how the hoverboat works, and they go fire it up. And as soon as they do, the engine explodes, Lost in Space style. Now they have to go find a new engine for the boat. Inside the Lost Sands, you can't walk across certain parts of the ocean floor because it now has sandworms in it. So they kind of need this engine for this hoverboat. Not only that, to get around, but there is some distance between cities and stuff. So that's the premise. That's the setup for these 3 maps. I'm going to make these available. I'll even throw in this kicker. But I do have to take out these miniatures and stuff like that, because these are, I'll probably leave in No Beard, but Lootwana is, again, Paperforge Mini, and I believe so is this guy, Tucket. Very slick. I'll make all of these maps available. I start my players off down at this end here and have them work their way in a gun battle to the end, trying to take out No Beard. Once they kill No Beard, then Shade opens up, and we go from there. And that's it. So I'll be throwing these maps up. If you're not sure how to get them, you can check some of my other videos. But essentially, you just have to go to, let's see, if I go to my games and I go to my workshop, my maps are stored in right here, One World game table with images. I'll just go there and I'll load this map, show you how it's done. So this is a table that I created, and it is a table of maps. Click on this, click the lock button, right click on last, and then main tables, it says build. You hit the build button. Go. These are all tables that you can, here's the bag for it. So here's a graveyard. Here's a little RPG town somebody had created that I put into One World, cut away bits of it, changed some things. I schmoozed this up. So I don't like this style of little tokens. There's so many pieces here that it can take forever to load. It's probably 50 more pieces than need to be there. So I've got a couple of edited maps of this. Crossroads, this is from a 5e adventure that is available. I think this is from, not sure which one that's from. It's from the second one. Anyways, doesn't matter. Here's a little dock map that's available. This is just a camp, so this could be used generically as any kind of camp, generically any kind of dirt road, generically, what is this one? Hills with a road. These are some maps that people have created. Sometimes they don't use One World to import them, so I take the time to sort of pull them in and make it easy for you guys to get at. Here's the forest encounter. Oh, here's the one that I did, Merchant District. You can see that I changed this in the back, put in some dirt paths and stuff like that. Looks a little bit different than the one that's available up here. So it's just a matter of whatever your choice is, right? They're essentially the same things. So here's a few forest scenes that are available. Here's a little main square, some woods, little cliff face. Here's a pyramid. This is a tomb that you can go into. These are ones that I've created. Here's a little sand tribe camp. A refinery, if you're looking for futuristic stuff. Here's some more futuristic command headquarters. Hive City. This is a really cool map. These buildings, you right-click on them and the tops come off. You can see that map is already made. Here's the Honeyhorn Brewery map. Fantastic for doing anything from rescue the honeyhorn from goblins or hobgoblins or any of that kind of stuff that have holed up inside there to maybe you're going there to drop off something, some kind of MacGuffin for the owner, or, you know, it's a place that you just find when you're out traveling about. Here's Castle Lake. This is literally like a castle on a lake. The map looks a touch squinched up, but it's actually pretty cool. So there's that. This is a sweet ass start on one side, little PvP with a river across it. Not too shabby. There's one inn. There's another inn. So there'll be a third inn. I only got a couple of spots for a few more maps. How you use this is super simple. You would take this dirt road map, for example, and then you would just right click on it, hit save object. It's going to save it to your root directory, wherever you decide to put it, like these maps here. Then when you go to, let's go to, what is this one? Dirt road blocked. We'll save object. Save it in my root folder. I'm going to names, and I'll take you to my work table really quick and kill this because I just wanted this to be quick. There's my work table right there. Notice my work table has nothing on it, nothing around it, so that it loads really quickly. And what you do, same thing as always, you go to One World, lock it, options, saved. Ship, no, where is it? River flow, dirt road blocked. There we go. Just take this entire map, drop it onto One World, and you're done. That is it. So I have, this is my main top level with all the different maps that I've been working on over the last little while. You take this little, whatchamacallit, and drop it down here somewhere. Double click on it, hit the build button. This one has sound and everything. There you go, dirt road blocked. It's just that simple. All right, we're going to leave that there. We're going to call this done. I'll import those other maps, and that's going to bring, I don't know what the table count is, but quite a bit, up into, I think, over 30 maps, 30 to 40 maps, something like that. Cool. All right, peace out.